It hurts. Look, okay, I can explain. Look at it. Okay, before you judge me, I love the dual blades. Obviously, my heart belongs to the great swords, so whenever I use them, I have to wait till the sword's asleep, sneak out at night, and hope nobody notices. And because they are my guilty pleasure weapon, I want to have a build that I just find awesome fun, and above all, badass looking. And that's what that first build was. I mean, God, look at it. Is that not the most fashionable thing you've seen? And it's incredibly potent, but we'll get to that later. What I want to focus on now is my favorite aspect of dual blades, and that is the movement with the weapon now. I don't know what it is, but I just adore the whole... Okay, fine, it's because I'm a massive weeaboo. Either way, I wanted to focus on that movement aspect, at least for my initial foray, and I was like, hang on, when you start spamming these dashes with Evade Extender, you go bloody quickly. Is it actually just the quickest you can move in Monster Hunter? So, obviously I have to find out this completely useless information, as I really have nothing better to do with my life. Either way, the answer is kinda. So I did some tests. And the results are as follows. In a flat, straight line, the lance obviously wins. It's the only real other contender. And then if you're going downhill a lot, then just running normally with your weapon sheathed and sliding wins, because sliding is really quite quick. But if you're moving over lots of different types of terrain, having to navigate stuff, the dual blades absolutely smashes it. And for the duration of the stamina bar, i.e. 3, 2, 1, go, dash, 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 until you run out for the first time, you are nigh uncatchable. You move at hilarious speeds with all the skills in place. And what were the skills? So this is how we're achieving maximum speed. We're using Fire and Ice just because it's got a level 2 slot, but any level 2 slot blades will do. And then you might be initially drawn to Speed Crawler from the Jagras legs. You see, while crouched with Speed Crawler, you actually move faster than anything else that's not spending stamina. So crawling along at hyperspeeds while you wait for your bar to come back for more dashes? Yeah, actually quite effective. Quick sheath just to, well, put them away and get your stamina back and go into Speed Crawler faster, and then all the others are kind of self-explanatory. Level 5 Constitution means you can dash 11 times, which is 3 more than Dash Juice, which is why we want the skill. Marathon Runner to, well, drain your stamina less, Stamina Surge, get it back faster, and Evade Extender for really, well, self-evident reasons. So all of this comes together to give you quite the speedy set. And I realize I quite possibly could be using the lance part of this absolutely hilariously poorly, but the main point stands that over short distance sprints, the dual blade absolutely smashes. Also, I hate Legiana now. Ah, come on. I used it's fine. I'll just use anything and then, oh my god, fucking piece of shit, motherfucking legging. It's okay. It's okay. I'll just do another one. It's no big deal. It happens, you know, world's a living environment and I love that and I just it's okay. It's okay. I feel better. So, let's move on, shall we? Now, obviously, you can't go rolling up to battle looking like a blind clown that got dressed by falling into a pile of clothes covered in tar a la Radoban. So what I decided to do was turn this into... Hold then! My Kirin super speed, super dodge monster can't hit me. I'm gonna paralyze you and then my team's gonna do the damage because I'm not really doing damage, but I am having fun. It needs work, the name. It's not as catchy as I would like. But either way, we've kept Constitution, Marathon Runner, and Evade Extender, the core of the Zoomy Zoom. Then we add in a little bit of attack, handicraft, and we get ourselves the 3 element to release the Paralysis on the Dark Ripper. The only real dual blades for the job here, as they are the Paralysis ones with a level 2 slot. The only other option is the cool variant, which isn't as good. And then, of course, the Paralysis attack to give it that extra oomph. And yeah, it really is quite fun, only in multiplayer though. And the thing is, it plays quite well. You're super hard to kill, dodgy, weavy, you're all over the place, striking constantly, stacking up, applying that paralysis, getting loads of them, and it really should not be understated that even though your damage is fairly low like this, the damage that you bring to the team by paralyzing the monster and giving everyone just ages of free hits is absolutely massive. Now, obviously, if you built a more DPS-orientated version of this but kept the paralysis factor, you would contribute more in terms of damage, but I wanted to keep the dashiness, and essentially being an untouchable, fast, what the hell is going on paralyzer, I thought, you know, why not give the monsters a taste of Kirin? That seems only fair, right? So, I probably actually should say everything I just said in Dual Blade language. Obviously this, you know, is primarily for people who like Dual Blades or play them, so I mean, I think that's only fair. I mean, I'm a little bit rusty, but here we go. Did you all get that? I know my pronunciation is a little bit off, but come on, that is going through all of our heads when using this weapon. Do not try and tell me that it isn't. Either way, then, we move on to my lovely, full-on damage beautifulness build. It is glorious, and the reason I didn't want to make the video just about this is because it uses USJ pieces, which is a Japanese-only event quest, and I feel like that's somehow even worse than going, yeah, just sock it in your 7 attack, Jules. So, I wanted to show you it, because I'm super happy with it, but I feel like if it was the only thing, you would have been like, seriously? So, without further ado then, so here is my beautiful baby. Now I will say, against most monsters, if you want your power to be maximum, then you do want to use the Devil Joe blades and then replace the handicraft jewel in the chest with the tenderizer jewel on the weapons, and then the build is otherwise identical. However, this is my guilty pleasure build and weapon, so I want to use whatever I think is my favorite, and I love Fire and Ice. I think they're wonderful dual blades, so that's what we're going with, and honestly, they're very competitive. They're not bad at all. I've got myself a health regen augment on them, and as you'll be seeing in the Nergy, it really is quite good. Even though the hits are tiny, there's so many of them that your health really does surge up, and the uptime it gives is worth so much more damage than any of the other augments, especially when you can only choose one. On the Devil Joe, you'd want health and affinity. Past that then, as you can see, we're using Kulve Chest, 2 lots of Azure Star-Lord, and Dante. So, 4 pieces of this weren't even in the game for most of its life cycle. You can see why it took me this long to come up with a dual blades build that I'm actually happy with, so yeah. When all is said and done then, we have Attack 4, which is the nice breakpoint where the skill is worth the most, so that's nice. We have ourselves Recovery up level 3. This is mostly a side effect of using the Azure Star-Lord arms. There isn't a hugely better option, and they do complete the fashion, and their recovery up isn't awful. It is mainly for the fashion, if I'm honest with you, but at least it's got a tangible use, which I can get behind. Critical Boost 3, obviously pretty good. Weakness Exploit 3, obviously pretty good. Speed Sharpening, because you want a Protective Polish with White Sharpness Dual Blade. You tear through sharpness so fast that even with 50 units of white, it just won't last long enough. So, to complement that, I've put in 3 Grinder Jewels so I can maintain it a lot easier, because I hate sitting there sharpening my weapon. But you can replace those 3 Grinder Jewels with whatever you think will serve the build better. Obviously the protective polish is there. Now look, I'm not great at dual blades. I don't think I'm bad, but I'm not amazing, but I do think this is pretty damn solid as far as builds go when you consider how it looks. In terms of a blend of function and form, I honestly think this might be just full stop the favorite build I've ever done, so I'm really quite pleased with that. Oh yes, I absolutely adore it, but I do love doing the infinite demon mode combo, even though you're out of stamina, just chaining to the dashy circle move to keep it going. It's honestly really quite effective. And of course, finally, we get ourselves a critical element, as the Azure Star-Lord counts as Rathalos Mastery, and really this is what opens up so many better crit element possibilities, because these armor pieces are so much better than normal Rathalos, my word. after that, then, that's essentially it. And I do overall think this is a really fantastic build. I have had a look at various speedrunners' build on the dual blades. There's some cool affinity sliding stuff, but essentially, I think I've got quite the punch out of these skills compared to all of them. I'm just not good enough to match their times. So, those of you that main the weapon might have some really good results with this, if you have access to the armor. By the way, if anyone can actually host the USJ quest, please can you contact me on the Discord in the description. There's a lovely community of you guys, Monster Hunter, all games. It's really awesome there. So if you didn't know about that, get involved. But just send me a message on there or however you want to do it, because I would love to do a pro and noob with the giant dodo who I just want to cuddle to death and the tiny Rathalos. And obviously I've got the armor from just joining random lobbies slowly, and they're not really conductive to a proper recording session, so if anyone can do that, please let me know. But I do love playing dual blades. As I said, the dashing and moving around, you just feel so mobile outside of, obviously, the stationary flurry combo, but still, I just think everything the weapon does is exhilarating, and I cannot deny every time I pick them up, I'm just like, oh my god, yeah! Like, every Beyblade is just, and I can't get over it. It's just, it's electric. It really, actually, no, it's Ice and Blast. That was terrible. But, yeah, I hope this has been entertaining. I hope you've had fun. I hope you dual bladers have at least gotten something out of this. If anything, I think working out the speeds of the fastestness was quite enjoyable. But yeah, my name has been Josh. Like if you enjoyed this, spread it around. If you did indeed get something out of it, it really does help. YouTube is terrible and I need all the help I can get. My word. A good boy. And I want to end this video with an ode to the first man in history to give us the glorious dual blades. This man, not content with sword in hand, he looked at his free hand and went, shields are for pansies. And he looked around and he saw a second sword lying there, and he looked back at his hand, back at the sword, back at his hand. And he looked at the sword, and he looked at his hand, and he said, no! I'm gonna pick up the sword! And then he's wearing two swords, one in each hand! And then he charges into battle and probably stabs himself, as it's incredibly hard to effectively wield two swords in real life, and even with impeccable training, you're better off with a sword in one hand and a parrying dagger in the other, but even then a shield is absolutely phenomenally effective in real life. But it looks cool! There you go, that's my ode to the first person to wield two swords. Oh, I'm just gonna go now. I'm just gonna go now.
Rage Gaming with the video float.
But that's all that's really relevant at the mo, but I'm still gonna leave this up so you patrons know that I love you even though the outro's no longer that kind of relevant. But the new one's being worked on and it's gonna be a truly badass song, and don't worry, I won't be doing any rapping on it. I'm gonna go now. This was shit.